Let's be real. Lexie Hull and Sophie Cunningham, no matter, will make more than a max contract in endorsements if they stay with the Fever. But Lexie Hull has been spotted back. This is a tweet from Birdology, and this is from obviously Lexie Hull's Instagram. Has Lexie Hull posted anything else on her Instagram?
Lexie Hull just dropped by the Indiana Fever training facility, and as expected, the internet is buzzing. But there's a crucial angle that's getting overlooked. This isn't just a routine workout, it's a move that could shape the future of the Fever, deciding if they elevate to dynasty status or fade into irrelevance. Let me be clear, we're not merely wishing for Lexie Hull's return to Indiana, we're assuming she's on her way back. If you find that confidence off-putting, you've been missing the bigger picture regarding the money involved. Here's the raw truth. The WNBA doesn't want fans connecting the dots. Lexie Hull and Sophie Cunningham are poised to rake in more endorsement deals by staying with Caitlin Clark at the Fever than they could earn from a max contract elsewhere. We're talking about generational wealth here, not just a slightly higher paycheck. And let's set the record straight, this is professional sports. These athletes generally have about a decade to secure their financial futures. You really think they'd pick a small market rebuild over the allure of the Caitlin Clark empire? I don't think so. Birdology caught Lexie on Instagram hard at work at the Fever training facility alongside team trainers Keith Porter and Rob Dozier, who, by the way, was busy with some trick shots while Lexie put in the effort. Everyone seems to act like this is just another off-season drill, but trust me, it's much more significant. Lexie Hull is staking her claim, signaling to every other team in the league that she's committed to where the money flows, where the spotlight shines, and where championships are won. But we need to address something serious. Keith Porter is still seen in a walking boot 3 months post-Achilles tear. That's definitely concerning. An Achilles injury isn't something to take lightly. Recovery typically spans 9 to 12 months. If he's still wearing a boot after 3 months, that raises some red flags. As someone who experienced a similar injury in college, I understand how critical proper recovery is. Keith still being in that boot raises valid questions about the Fever's medical team and whether they might be hurrying players back too soon. Now, refocusing on Lexie, her presence in Indiana and active participation with the team significantly boosts the likelihood of her staying put. This isn't mere speculation, it's a trend. Players who immerse themselves with their franchises during the off-season tend to re-sign, while those who aren't visible, not so much. For instance, we're not seeing much of Bree Turner at the facility. And before her fans jump in, I actually think there's a decent chance she returns, but let's be honest, we're not getting daily updates of her working alongside the trainers. That speaks volumes about where the Fever's priorities lie. 4 points per game in Australia. Playing for Perth isn't the worst situation, but it's not exactly setting the league ablaze either. Yes, she's primarily a defensive player, but in the current WNBA landscape, you need to impact both ends of the floor to earn a spot. Lexie Hull offers something unique. Hustle cannot be taught, and the fearless way she plays is irreplaceable. She throws herself into charges, dives for loose balls, and makes crucial plays that might not be reflected in the statistics. Now, does that mean she has to be a starter? That's where things get tricky. If you directly ask me who's better between Lexie Hull and Sophie Cunningham, I'd say Sophie. That's not a hot take, it's just the reality. Sophie is a more well-rounded player, a better shooter, and a more disciplined defender. However, Lexie carves out her niche as an elite stopper, especially when it comes to drawing charges. Can she hold her own against top players like Ryan Howard or Kia Nurse? Absolutely not. Those athletes will outrun her and make her look foolish. That's why Kelsey Mitchell typically draws those tougher defensive assignments. But when it comes to guards who rely on screens and physical play, that's where Lexie excels. She's known for drawing multiple offensive fouls in a single game, completely throwing opponents off their game. She gets under their skin, and by the fourth quarter, they can't stop thinking about her instead of focusing on their strategy. That kind of effect is invaluable. Remember that playoff moment against Atlanta where Lexie made the game-winning defensive stop? That's the kind of influence that doesn't appear in the box score but can mean everything in a game. Now, I'll admit, I can't definitively say how crucial a defensive playmaker like Lexie is in the championship equation. There just aren't enough data points in WNBA history to draw a solid conclusion. But if you believe a strong defensive style can make a difference, Lexie Hull is hard to beat. On the other hand, Sophie Cunningham is a different type of defender altogether. She's more of a containment player, disciplined and steady, forcing opponents to work for every bucket without taking unnecessary risks, but she also lacks the quickness to shut down elite guards. Both players have skill sets that bring value to the team, just in different ways. And honestly, that's what makes this discussion so interesting. I don't mind a rotation where both of. Starting with the core group is key. For the Fever, it's not just about deciding between Lexie and Sophie. The real priority lies in keeping the crucial five: Sophie, Lexie, Aitlin, Aaliyah, and Kelsey. These players form the backbone of a potential dynasty. Losing any one of them could unravel everything. And let's not forget to retain KK Hammond for her potential. Even if she doesn't play much next season, her possibilities are valuable in this league. Once you secure those six, it's time to make some moves. Invest whatever it takes to land a top-tier power forward, someone who can hold their own in the post and effectively guard players like Breanna Stewart and A'ja Wilson. With that addition, the Fever could be serious championship contenders. Without it, they're just one player away from playoff letdowns. Just look at the way Alyssa Thomas dominated Natasha Howard in the playoffs. No contest at all. The Fever are on the verge of becoming the favorites to win it all with just one more piece. It's not all about talent, though. It's about continuity and chemistry. These five players have battled through playoffs together and understand how to win. So, seeing Lexie Hull back at the Fever facility isn't just good news, it's crucial. It differentiates between building a dynasty and squandering Caitlin Clark's prime years. Here's the tough truth. Caitlin is on a timeline. She likely has about 5 years before the league catches up to her. 5 years before age and injuries might become factors. 5 years to form a championship-caliber team around her. The Fever can't afford to waste any season figuring things out. They need to act swiftly to lock down Lexie Hull now. They need to sign that power forward now. In just 3 years, when Caitlin is stepping into her prime and the window for opportunities is wide open, it'll be too late to start building. This is the pivotal moment. This offseason will shape the next decade of Indiana Fever basketball. And having Lexie Hull back in Indianapolis, working out with the team, is the first positive sign. Now, does this guarantee she's sticking around? Not at all. Players can change their minds, new offers come in, and agents get involved. Nothing is set until the ink is dry. But if I'm a Fever fan, I'd sleep a little easier tonight knowing Lexie is in the building. It's reassuring to see her choose to be with the organization instead of exploring other options because, in professional sports, presence matters. Proximity matters. The relationships forged in the off-season play a crucial role in free agency decisions, and Lexie Hull is making those connections right here in Indiana. So, what do you think? Do you believe Lexie Hull is staying with the Fever, or is this just a prelude before she signs somewhere else? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And if you think the Fever are on the brink of a dynasty, hit that subscribe button. We'll be covering every single move this offseason. The WNBA is about to get very exciting, and it all begins with Lexie Hull's choice, which could change everything.